Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the 15 best brawlers to max out with this meta. So balance changes dropped a couple of days ago. Now we can figure out the meta. Also, there's not going to be any balance changes with the next update because there's World Finals probably in and around then. So these would be the last balance changes before World Finals, which is at the beginning of November. So a lot of time to really digest this meta. So let's jump into it. So the first brawler on this list may be very surprising, but it is Penny. So she received a 2-tile range buff, and a lot of people, I think, completely slept on it. I'm having a ton of fun with Penny right now. She's super versatile. She's not going to do anything like stupidly crazy stat-wise, but she's really consistent, really versatile, and good against a bunch of different things. I think this is definitely going to be a good Penny meta. Before we get into the video, I want to give a huge shout out to Gamer Games for sponsoring today's video. Gamer Games is a platform which lets you earn and compete on your favorite games like Brawl Stars, and you can compete for cash, gift cards, and more. And setting up your account is so simple. You can sign up through Discord or Google, connect your Brawl Stars account, and then you can just start earning. You can either simply do some daily challenges to help rack up some points, or you can dive straight into the good stuff, which are the contests. The scoring is also super simple as well. The more trophies that you gain, the more points that you will earn. It's also very representative of the trophies that you're pushing on a certain brawler. For example, if your brawler trophy is at 1,200, then you'll gain more points. So it's good for all people, the casuals and the hardcore gamers. And Tribe are hosting a $5,000 contest over on Gamer Games, starting on the October 11th, running through November 11th. So make sure to head over right now, as you can sign up straight away. Another great thing about Gamer Games is that at least the top 20% of players will receive a payout. So that means that your grind won't go unrewarded. Redeeming the prizes is super easy as well. You can either send them directly to your PayPal or Venmo account, or you can choose other prizes like gift cards, which are instantly transferred. So make sure to try out Gamer Games for yourself by using the link in the description, and you can also use code TRIBE to get 25% off the first month of your pro membership. So as I said, make sure to click on the link and start earning that cash. The next on the most max out list, we have Squeaks. So one of the 4 brawlers that received a buff with the balance changes, and I think Squeaks buff did make a big impact. It was a 7% damage buff, which does change a lot of different interactions, and you've still got the hypercharge, which isn't a flashiest one, but can still make a big difference, and still just the base stats of it can be really good. In draft, he's a really strong brawler, and even against assassins, he deals a lot of damage now, especially paired with his damage star power. So I think Squeak is definitely being slept on, and he's going to be borderline A tier now. The next one on the most max out list, we have Kenji. So I know a lot of people will be like, oh, when will Kenji be getting nerfed? But like I said in the intro, there won't be any balance changes for like nearly a month, so you can be safe and putting resources into him right now. Just have fun with him, max him out, push him in ranked, push him in ladder, get your free rank 30s, because he's so broken. His gadget, his healing one, is so good. Also, the star power that blocks your damage for 90% for every 5 seconds you don't receive damage is just absolutely insane, and his healing on top of his fast reload speed is super strong. Everything about Kenji is just so good, so just max him out and abuse him as much as possible, because when balance changes drop in like a month or so, he'll definitely get nerfed. So the same completely applies to Mo as well. So both Kenji and Mo, the top 2 brawlers in the game, and again, a lot of people are under the impression that Mo is not even that strong for whatever reason. I think it's completely busted, and I'm literally playing Mo with randoms a lot of the time and playing at rank 35 matchmaking, and I can just carry 1 versus 3. His damage output is just absolutely bizarre. Assassins can't do anything against him as well, because you can just knock them back and destroy them. Everything about Mo is just crazy strong, and again, he won't receive any nerfs for like another month now, so just abuse him as much as possible, because he'll probably get killed in the next balance changes. Next up on the most maxed out list, we have Serge. So I was really surprised that he didn't receive any balance changes, because he is such a force in ranked and just in general. His hypercharge isn't a must get in a way, but it does definitely help him out and can make him make some flashy plays. Why not have a hypercharge? But just Serge in general, you don't even need the hypercharge. He's so good. He's gonna be better on the grassier maps where he can feed his level a lot better, and just overall, he's just clearly a top 5 brawler in the game right now. He was slowly getting better with buffs and other buffs, whilst brawlers were just receiving nerfs around him. So in turn, it's just made him get better. So just max him out. So for the most maxed out list, we have Byron. So a brawler that you can be pretty safe in putting your resources in, because I would say that he's not really that toxic in the meta. He's probably not needing of a nerf, so he's just going to be staying strong forever. And he might even get a hypercharge with the next set of hypercharges. So you just don't know with Byron. Plus, he's super versatile, so you can play him in pretty much every single game mode. Just don't play him in the grassier maps. He's going to be a good knockout. Bounty is a gem carrier and gem grab. grab on the more open maps in Brawl. He's just so consistent, and he's always going to be in and around the meta as long as he don't get nerfed. So next up we have Larry and Laurie. So the twins, the public conception is that the twins aren't even that good and that I'm overrating them. So by my mind, they're not going to get nerfed in the next set of balance changes, whenever that is. So you can be safe in putting your resources in them, and plus they're just so good. You saw my rank guide yesterday. They were pretty much in every single map and mode. Knockout Bounty, of course, they're just really good. You've got Brawl and Gem Grab. They can be really strong. Hot Zone. It's just so many good throw maps in a rotation. Like I said, super versatile. You can just switch star powers depending whether you're facing off against a lot of tanks. I think they're low-key one of the most underrated brawlers in the game. They just have to be. They're so good, and people just don't realize it. So max them out and just abuse them. Next up on the list we have Angelo. So another, I would say, underrated brawler in the meta. Not many people talk about how good Angelo is, but I think he's one of the most frustrating brawlers right now because there's so many good maps where Angelo's good in. Think of Bridge Too Far, Canal Grande, and he's just so hard to kill with his jump gadget, his healing super. He deals a lot of damage, and it's so hard to actually just, like I say, kill an Angelo because he can just always jump away, and he always is really pesky, especially the fact that his main attack doesn't burst, you know, like Hank's similar brawlers. Hank's bubble bursts, but Angelo, he can just hold on to that 4K shot, and forever he'll just be really good. If you think of all the long range maps, Knockout and Bounty, he's so good on. The pros play a lot of Angelo, whilst the casuals don't really think he's that good. I know he takes a little bit more skill, but trust me, you're safe in putting your resources into him because he's borderline S tier and he's very strong in the meta. So next up on the must max out list we have Artie. So another brawler that's so underappreciated by the casuals, and he's actually one of the least played brawlers in the game for whatever reason. I think he's easily an A tier brawler in the meta. He's so versatile. That's why a lot of these brawlers in this list are versatile, because you want to be playing them everywhere. You don't want to just have one brawler in particular that's just good on only one game mode, for example, like Chuck. You want Artie, who's really good on Knockout and Bounty. He can be good in other scenarios as well, but that's where he's going to be best in. He's going to be good as well sometimes in Hot Zone, you know, like parallel plays. He's going to be good because of the gadget that allows you to get your super instantly, because tanks just can't go into you, whilst you can also just keep the pressure with your main attack because of course you're ranged. I just think he's so good. He's always going to be in and around the A tier. I don't think Artie's really drops further than the B tier in the meta, so a good brawler to max out. So on the list we have Daryl. So another brawler that received a nerf, but I pretty much think none of the nerfs really did a lot to the meta, to be honest. It toned them down a little bit, which I like, but Daryl still is absolutely insane. So again, the biggest problem with Daryl is always the first 30 seconds, but once you start chaining those supers, he's an absolute menace. You can pretty much play Daryl everywhere. I see even a late pick on Shooting Star, for example, Daryl working. Of course, there's probably assassins that get into the game quicker, but Daryl is just him right now. The fact that his super can just cover the entire map with 2 uses is really good. The other thing about Daryl that I wouldn't worry about is his star powers. You do probably need Steel Hoop star power, but the gadgets, you know, most of his kit doesn't actually help him too much, so just get him to power 11 and then you should be good to go. So on the list we have Barley. So there's 2 throws in particular that are dominating the meta. We have the twins and we have Barley. You've seen them a lot in my ranked cheat sheet guide. There was just so much Barley. The reason why he's just so good, again, super versatile. His build is just really good. You can always switch out depending on your matchup. You've also got the slow gadget, really good against tanks. You've got the hypercharge, which is actually really good. I don't know why people don't think it's good. It deals a lot of damage and it covers a lot of the map. It can make some game-changing team wipes very good. And again, Barley's just pretty good in the meta. You can go it in Bounty, you can go it Knockout late in the draft. You can just, it's always going to be a good throw map in the rotation, and Barley's just one of those really good sneaky picks. Definitely recommend maxing him out. So on the list we have Gus. So another brawler I would say probably a little bit biased towards, but Gus is sneaking up the meta for sure. The damage buff he got like a month ago or so, people really underestimated. He's definitely back in the meta. The good thing about Gus is that he actually has the damage output to keep up with some of his biggest annoyances. Normally you could just run him down with tanks, etc., but that's really hard because he also got a damage buff to his Cookie Popper gadget as well. His ghosts are able to deal more damage, which is fantastic. And the fact that Gus again is versatile, he's basically like the worst version of Byron, but still that level of versatility. Really good in Bounty and Knockout, really good as a mid on any open map. There's just so much to Gus to enjoy. Next up on the list we have Frank. So another brawler that's got better in the meta because other top brawlers around him have received nerfs. This was one brawler that I predicted to become very meta again. I would say he's not like S tier, but he's always in and around the A tier. The rework has just made him so good in so many different scenarios. He's a good late pick in draft, and he's just overall good in ladder. There's always going to be some big, heavy damage dealers in the meta, but the reason why these brawlers are meta is because of Frank. Because if you don't have one of these like Chester, Gail, Mo, etc., then Frank's just going to run it down against you because he's that good. So I definitely recommend still maxing him out. Next up on the most max out list, we have Gail still. So people are always asking the question whether Gail's good or not. Well, the nerfs did a little bit to him, but didn't actually do all that much, because with Gail, he still deals a lot of damage with his main attack. His star powers are both really good. You got the fact that as well, there's a lot of really good assassins in the meta, like Kenji, for example. You've got Mortis, you've got Daryl, you've got the likes of Frank as well. He's not assassin, but tanks. There's a lot of good tanks, so you need Gail. He completely shuts them down. And I know it takes a little bit longer to get your hypercharge, but still, the hypercharge, I think, is actually the best hypercharge in the game. It just gets such easy team wipes. It's ridiculous. People are sleeping on this hypercharge. Very, very good. Gail's still easily near the top of the meta. Got to be close to the S tier. Then jumping into the final Brawl he must max out for this season, we have Mandy. So I know there's a slight bug with her right now, but I believe they're looking to fix that. And that should be, I don't know, should be fixed before Worlds, hopefully. I mean, I would actually not max her out until that bug's perhaps fixed. You know, you can go with a different alternative like Piper, for example, if you're not comfortable with that. But I would just be safe in maxing her out anyway, because once that's fixed, she actually will receive a big buff. And I think she will easily be S tier. The buff looks insane. Increasing the projectile speed while standing still is just going to make Mandy such a good brawler. So yeah, just I'll say wait for that one, but definitely one to look out for. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.